So I've been using the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 since March, and the small camera has been the biggest surprise of the year for me. Every time I go on a trip, work on more adventurous projects, or just want to capture crisp video without breaking my back, the Osmo Pocket 3 has become a huge part of my setup. It's a powerful video tool, especially for solo creators like myself who don't always have the time or someone else to help them film. Its video quality, particularly with its dynamic range, is incredible. It has smooth stabilization, and it's one of the best subject tracking systems that I've tried to date. And to get all of that in something this small should have every other camera brand worried. I'm more surprised we don't have more competitors to the Osmo Pocket 3 yet, because I really think the future of big camera setups is going in this direction. Speaking of which, one of the first videos I ever made on the Osmo Pocket 3 is how I replaced my $3,000 Sony a7S III and DJI Ronin gimbal combo with this little guy. And sure, the Pocket 3 isn't gonna fool you into thinking it's a full-frame camera paired with a lens that alone is twice its price, but under the right conditions, especially when I'm filming outdoors, I found it gets shockingly close. But while the Pocket 3's video quality is great, I think it's really its size and convenience which makes this camera so special. So it's got me thinking, how does this stack up to the camera I already always have on me, my iPhone 15 Pro? Now, I've shot a lot of video on this, and sometimes it's really all you need, but if you're ready to step up your video production and you want a camera that's nearly as small and easy to use, here are 5 reasons that the Osmo Pocket 3 wins every time. All right, let's do a little bit of a spec recap here. The Osmo Pocket 3 packs a 1-inch sensor that can shoot 4K up to 120 frames per second. With its 3-axis gimbal built right in, it keeps your footage smooth, even with faster paced action, whether you're walking, running, or even chasing rally cars. Combine that with its Active Track 6.0, which just locks onto your subject and follows them, including yourself. It's like having a mini DP in your pocket. At just 150 grams, it's incredibly lightweight, making it the perfect companion for anyone who needs high-quality video without the bulk. Now let's compare that to the iPhone 15 Pro. It's got a 48 megapixel main sensor, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and a 12 megapixel telephoto, and it can shoot 4K up to 60 frames per second. Now support with ProRes log, but that does have a lot of caveats. Video quality, as great as it can be, honestly can still feel underwhelming, because at the end of the day, it still looks like it came from a phone. It comes down to a few things. It lacks realistic depth of field, and it's often over-sharpened. It looks too digital, especially if you're using Apple's default camera app. On top of that, it's not great in low light. Shooting in ProRes log does unlock more dynamic range and control over your final video look, but those file sizes are massive, burning through my 256 gigabytes of storage faster than I'd like, not to mention 60 frames per second is locked to recording with an external SSD. For me, the extra video quality you get just doesn't justify the hassle, especially if you consider how much easier and better looking the footage comes out straight from the Osmo Pocket 3. Arguably, the biggest advantage with the Osmo Pocket 3 is its built-in gimbal. While the iPhone 15 Pro has impressive software stabilization, it just can't compete with physical stabilization with a gimbal. The Osmo Pocket 3 gives you impressive results whether you're walking, running, or filming out of a car window. It's all rock solid. In fairness, as long as I can remember, the iPhones have had some of the best video stabilization of any phone, but even to this day, its electronic and software magic can only do so much. Results are impressive with slower movements, and at times it can be way better than it has any right to be, but video quality also quickly falls apart in low light. Even under ideal conditions, you'd still be running into weird jerkiness or warpiness from the system just trying to keep up with your fast movements. In comparison, because the Pocket 3 has an actual physical gimbal, you can get those incredible shots in the darkest of scenes, whether it's nighttime or just low light rooms. Next up, that gimbal isn't just great for hiding bumps in your movement, it's also the perfect tool for cinematic pans or tilts. Sure, you can try to mimic it handheld, but even with the most steady of hands, and even if you're really slow, there's a good chance you're catching some unwanted shake in your shots. Not to mention, just as in the example before with running or walking, digital stabilization really struggles in low light, and it's gonna be even worse with these kinds of movements. On the other hand, with the Osmo Pocket 3, you can actually manually control with the joystick or program in your gimbal movements in seconds to really elevate your production quality, because you can do awesome time lapses or repeatable camera movements that barely take any effort, but the results are definitely worth it. Next up, if you want a camera specifically for vlogging, the Osmo Pocket 3 might just be the perfect vlogging camera. I'm someone who hates to film in public, but the Osmo Pocket 3 makes things a lot easier for me. And you can't even really tell that I'm doing it because, one, I'm not really maintaining eye contact, but just holding this out a couple feet from me, You never really even know I was recording video. It's small and discreet, so it doesn't really draw a lot of attention to myself. It also means I can bring it into venues or other places where traditional cameras definitely wouldn't be allowed. I also love how with just 3 taps, the camera faces me and I can say what I want to camera. 3 more, and it's back to facing what's in front. Combine that with its really bright 2-inch screen and it makes framing a breeze even in bright sunlight. And let's not forget its great built-in mics, perfect for quick videos like this, but also when paired with DJI wireless mic 2. The Osmo Pocket 3 feels like it's just more capable for capturing those impromptu and personal moments a lot easier. One of the other things that really helps the Osmo Pocket 3 shine, especially when doing these more close-up shots, is its depth of field. You get this beautiful cinematic bokeh that blurs out the background nicely, giving you decent subject separation that's usually reserved for larger, more expensive camera setups. Now, this isn't going to give you that, f1.2 look of a 50mm full-frame camera, but it gives your footage that extra polished pro look that, again, smaller cameras can't really match. Phones are getting better at this, especially with their portrait or cinematic modes, but those are usually software tricks that are hit or miss and can often look messy. Even when I'm not filming myself, if I want to show off a cool new gadget that I'm reviewing, the Pocket 3 helps me get all those beauty shots without needing to pack my big setup, and I actually really like the results. Finally, when you're out capturing, the last thing you want to do is worry about your device running out of juice or storage. The Osmo Pocket 3 has you covered with impressive battery life, giving you up to 166 minutes of 4K recording on just a single charge. If that's not enough, picking up the battery grip accessory, which I highly recommend, extends your recording time to 253 minutes, or just over 4 hours of continuous filming. That's crazy. I go the whole day without worrying about battery levels, and unlike my phone, which is the lifeline for everything else, the Osmo Pocket 3 is a dedicated tool that I can always rely on. That means no stressing about draining my phone's battery while I'm out filming a big shoot. Similarly, I also hate running out of space on my phone. The Pocket 3 has 64 gigabytes of built-in storage and supports micro SD cards up to 1 terabyte. I really wish phones could bring this back, but I think we're way past that now. All that to say, the iPhone or any other phone isn't a bad video camera, but if you want to take your content creation to the next level with minimal effort and investment, I think the Osmo Pocket 3 kit is the way to go. Phones are continuing to get more impressive each year, but just as with Apple and every other brand, they're trying harder, but it's mostly with software, and there's only so much they can do with the camera sensors that they can currently fit into these small phone bodies. The Osmo Pocket 3 is effectively bridging the gap between pro and casual filmmaking in a way that's accessible and fun for everyone, while also being super portable and, I think, relatively affordable. But let me know what you think about the Osmo Pocket 3. For more cool tech, you can follow us everywhere at Tom's Guide, and you can follow me to see what I'm reviewing next. Thanks for watching.